Hey guys, this is Allie from Young, Dumb, and Sober. Abel and I have mentioned in the past few posts or in our most recent upload on YouTube that we are going in a little bit of a different direction with our videos. It's a little nerve-wracking, but we're both super excited for it. And with that, one of the new types of videos that we are going to be putting out there are sobriety updates, individual videos, me on my own, talking to you guys about where I'm at with my sobriety, and then Abel doing the same thing about his own sobriety. As much time as we spend together, as often as we talk sobriety together, as we are still obviously two separate individuals with two different recoveries, two different sobrieties. At the end of the day, him and I are still on different paths, so it's important for us to separate ourselves and share our stories in a way that allows us to be authentic and hopefully get to know you guys a little bit better, have you get to know us a little bit better on a more individual, more intimate basis. So with that very long-winded explanation, I think I'm probably just avoiding talking about the actual stuff I need to talk about today. This is my sobriety update for October. God, that's so annoying. I gotta do something about that. That's not okay. Part of my sobriety means being neurotic and bothered by very minuscule things. But I'm not gonna drink over it, and I'm not gonna get high over it today. This is weird, actually really uncomfortable for me to talk about. I don't know if this is necessarily a good or a bad thing. I actually do feel like the person I am on social media and on our channel is reflective of who I am off of the internet. Don't see any point in asking who I am. Part of my goal and part of the goal of Young, Dumb, and Sober is to help connect people and make others feel part of the whole, to be there for our community. If I'm not authentic in doing those things, then really it's all just kind of a waste of time. However, I have my personal thoughts and feelings and all that bullshit that can be tough to open up about. I definitely am feeling a little bit vulnerable about it. And it's not that I'm unused to speaking about my sobriety or my recovery in a very forthcoming way, because I am. And I also have no issue with, getting in depth and sharing myself with somebody, especially a fellow alcoholic, addict, substance abuser, whatever label or non-label you want to use. There's that instant connection for me. So it's almost second nature for the boundaries to dissolve. In settings where I am doing that in a talking capacity, usually the conversation ends, and then both me and the other person, carry on with the rest of their day or the rest of their life, depending on whether or not they're a fixture in my life. But with this sobriety update video, obviously the major difference there is that it goes up on the internet. There's no getting it back then. If I was able to drink and drug like a normal person, I would. But I can't, and I don't. And I'm grateful for that. I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't gotten sober. Let me update you about my sobriety today, October, this past month. This is really hard. Okay. Some of the things I've been thinking about in terms of sobriety. I started off my recovery, I'm going to 12-step meetings. I drank the Kool-Aid, did the whole thing. That has been the foundation of my sobriety and my recovery for the past 2.5 years. The other big part of my sobriety is therapy. I've been in therapy for as long as I can remember. Partially for mental health stuff, partially for substance abuse things. For me, those things are so linked together that they really are one and the same. For the past month or so, I haven't been going to as many meetings as I did about 6 months ago. I'm not exactly sure what changed. I also know that when I do get to meetings, which now I would say is really, I probably only go once a week, twice a week at most. I do feel better after I leave them. I do feel good about it. It's not that I have anything against meetings. It's not that I don't think that they're effective. I am very aware of the changes that I've been making in what my recovery looks like on a day-to-day basis. You go to therapy every week, which is huge for my sobriety and my recovery. It helps me rinse out all of the jumbled, crappy emotions and thoughts that I'm having. It helps me to put them in a straight line and be able to look at them from an objective point of view. The more that I recognize how I'm thinking, what my behaviors are, how I'm leading my life, the more of a chance I have to stay sober. I think part of the reason that I use and drink is I have a hard time like being with myself, and I have a hard time trusting myself. I often act impulsively or compulsively. The mental, the physical, the emotional, the spiritual consequences. I'm not careful. I can very easily slip into the habit of self-medicating again, because for me that's just kind of always been the go-to. So I need to have somebody keeping me in check once a week, reminding me of the tools that I have, keeping me accountable. My therapist is very well versed in substance abuse issues, a very spiritual person. She has a very holistic approach, and that has been very, very important for my staying sober. It's really vital. It's a major part of my recovery. Becoming more grounded, becoming more spiritual has made a huge difference for me. That, for me, lately materializes as reading thought-provoking books that deal with spirituality or self-development in one way or another. Right now, I am reading with my girlfriend, yeah, that's a thing, The Untethered Soul by, the fuck is that guy's name? Michael Singer. I didn't even have to look it up. All right, yeah, so is it Michael Singer? Okay, so yeah, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Very useful, at least for me, to be able to distance myself from my thoughts and, like, you know, the little voice in my head that can speak negatively. It's helping me to separate myself from that aspect of me. And the incredible conclusion to come to when you feel like you've been trapped by your own mind for so long, which I do feel like the majority of my life, I do feel like I have been that way. But recently, I don't feel that way. Right now, I think my sobriety, despite not going to meetings right now, and again, I'm not suggesting that anybody, especially people in like early recovery or people who are very active in a 12-step program or any program, really, like whether you do like Smart Recovery or like the Noble Steps or like AA, whatever. There's a million and one programs out there. If you're going to meetings and it's working for you, continue to go. This is not me like giving the stamp of approval, like, yeah, you don't need to go to meetings and you'll be fine. You know, I'm still trying very much to work out how I'm going to reintegrate meetings into my life in a way that makes sense. Right now, my sobriety feels like it's on a good path. I am working through the steps right now. I'm currently on step 9, which includes making amends for the wrongs that you've done to people in the past. So I'm in the middle of that right now. Flesh that out a little bit more, and then pretty much immediately after that, I will start to contact the people on my list, for better or for worse. At the end of the day, this is spiritual growth for me, and it is a part of my sobriety. Even if it wasn't, I think that this would be a great thing to do for everybody, because it's just a way to clean house and kind of like do a reset button on your conscience. That'll be fun. I'm like looking a lot into like alternative methods of recovery, not to replace what I do in a 12-step program, but to supplement it. I use yoga to supplement my recovery, and when I try to eat nutritiously, that's like a supplement to my recovery as well. The more positive decisions that I can make for my body and my mind and my soul and everything, the more likely I am to not want to escape by getting high. So that's kind of how it works for me. And then on top of that, like there's Young, Dumb, and Sober. This channel absolutely helps keep me accountable for my sobriety and my recovery. I've signed a contract. I can't co-run a YouTube channel that has to do with sobriety if I'm not sober. It keeps me connected with people, other people in like the larger sober recovery or sober curious community and like movement, who I would not normally have the chance to connect with. That helps me being able to connect with like-minded others. If I didn't have the channel, I might not have that same opportunity. Sobriety is very much the software that constantly is running throughout the computer that is my life. So the best way that I can describe it right now is that my sobriety is threads throughout every single aspect of my life, whether it's my personal relationships with my friends, with my family, with my girlfriend, with work, with writing, with everything. It is It is the thread that connects everything, allowing me the clarity to see it now. Before, when I wasn't sober, I didn't have the opportunity to witness toxic things coming into my life. Not only because I was completely oblivious, but also because like I was a toxic thing in my life. So that's pretty much where I'm at with sobriety right now. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave comments if you feel so inclined, or share with somebody if you think that it'll help. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for listening, and it's been real fun. Bye.